Grade 5, how are you today? I hope that you are doing okay. I'm also fantastic. I'm trying to stay safe. I hope that you guys are wearing your mask, sanitizing, and practicing social distancing. I miss you so much, and I hope to see you very, very soon. So, what have you been up to? What do you do when you're at home? Do you read your books? Do you play games? What do you do? Anyway, I'm happy to be here with you one more time, and let's get to it. So, we are going to study about science. So, welcome to science class for grade 5, and I'm your teacher, Teacher Seda. And don't forget science rules, okay? And have fun always when you're studying science. Now, when you finish watching the clip, I also need you to watch the link of the YouTube that will be attached to this work, okay? Watch it, and then you'll find it is very, very interesting, okay? So, let's continue. Now, last week I gave you some introduction about our respiratory system. Now, I need you to turn with me to your textbook, page 2 and 3, okay? And let's talk about our respiratory system. Now, respiratory system help us to breathe, okay? It helps us to breathe. Now, our respiratory system takes oxygen into and removes carbon dioxide from our body, okay? So, what do you breathe in? When you breathe in oxygen, very good. And when you breathe out, what do you breathe out? You breathe out carbon dioxide. So, look at him. He is breathing in oxygen and he is breathing out what? The carbon dioxide. You breathe in oxygen and you breathe out carbon dioxide. Very good. Now, our respiratory system is made up of our nose, windpipe, and lungs. One more time. It's made up of our nose, windpipe, and the lungs. So this is a picture of our respiratory system. It's made up of the nose, the windpipe, the lungs, and the diaphragm, okay? So this is what we call our respiratory system. Respiratory system is made of our nose, windpipe, the lungs, the two. If there are two, they are lungs. If it is one, you say lung. And then the diaphragm, okay? So, parts of our respiratory system and their function. Now, page 2 and 3. We are still on page 2 and 3, our textbook. So, what are the parts of our respiratory system and what are their functions? Now, like I said, it is made up of the nose, the windpipe, the lungs, and the diaphragm. So, what are their functions? When we breathe in, air rushes through our nose. When you breathe in, the air goes through your nose, okay? It is moistened, like it's wet and cleaned. So we have some hair in our nose. If you can take a mirror and look at yourself or look down inside your nose, you see some air. We call them cilia. Now these air, they clean the air that goes inside. Hair, air. So we have hair, H-A-I-R, in your nose that cleans the air, A-I-R, that goes in your nose. Now, our nose tree removes dust from the air we breathe. So, when air gets through your nose, it is cleaned up, okay, before it goes down through your windpipe. And then, what happens when it goes through the windpipe? So the windpipe serves as a passage for air. It moistens and warms it. So when the air passes here, it moistens, it makes it wet and makes it warm, okay, while it passes to the lungs and protects the respiratory surface from accumulation of foreign particles. So the windpipe here also protects our lungs by cleaning the air that goes to our lungs, okay. And then we have the diaphragm, this one here. When you breathe in and when you breathe out, so it keeps going up and down, up and down. So it's an important muscle that helps you breathe in and out. So it helps you to breathe in and out. Next we have the lungs. What is the function of our lungs? Now the lungs help oxygen to enter the red cells in the blood. They also help the body, to get rid of the carbon dioxide gas when we breathe out. So what happens is, when you breathe in through your nose, the air rushes through your windpipe to your lungs. Now, these lungs, they have air sacs, okay, that allows the exchange of gases in and out of your body, okay. So when you breathe in oxygen. Now the oxygen will be passed through your lungs, and we have the bloodstream, okay, the capillaries, where the oxygen will be absorbed, and then the carbon dioxide will come out through your mouth, okay. So the lungs help oxygen to enter the red cells in the blood. They also help the body to get rid of the what? Carbon dioxide gas when we breathe out. So those are the functions of our respiratory system. Now, breathe in, breathe out. So what happens when you breathe in and when you breathe out? Now look at your textbook on page 4 and 5. We are told that when you breathe in, air rushes through your lungs, okay? But when you breathe out, it comes through your mouth, right? Okay, so the air we breathe in is called what? Inhaled or inspired. So another name for the air that we breathe in, we can say it's inhaled air or inspired, and it's rich in oxygen. So it means that when you breathe in, you can say breathe in, inhale or inspire. You inhale what? Oxygen. But when you breathe out or exhale or expire, you breathe out carbon dioxide, okay? So remember, when you breathe in oxygen. When you breathe out carbon dioxide. Okay, so mechanism of breathing. Now what happens when you breathe in and when you breathe out? When you breathe in, we say it's inhalation. When you breathe out, it's exhalation. Now, what happens when you breathe in? When you breathe in, our rib cage, which means these bones here, they expand. It means that they become big, and the rib muscles contract, okay? The rib muscles contract, making the diaphragm, this part here, to go down. You see the arrow? It goes down. So the diaphragm contracts. It means that it moves down. So what happens when you breathe in? When you breathe in, the rib cage expands as rib muscles contract. Okay, they become bigger, and the diaphragm contracts. It means that it moves down to allow the air to come to your lungs and into your body. Now when you breathe out, see, there's a difference. This is big and this is small, right? So when you breathe out what? Carbon dioxide. And what happened during this time? The rib cage gets smaller. This rib cage, it becomes smaller. See, there's a difference. And the rib muscles relax, okay? While the diaphragm relaxes and moves up. So you see there's a difference. This one goes down and that one moves up. So don't forget, when you breathe in oxygen. When you breathe out carbon dioxide. So I want you to see what happens to the diaphragm here. Can you see? When the person is breathing in, when they're breathing in, they breathe in, the diaphragm moves down and the rib cage expands. When they breathe out, the rib cage it becomes smaller and the diaphragm moves up. So this is how we breathe in and we breathe out. We call it the mechanism of breathing. So far, we have talked about our respiratory system, the parts of our respiratory system and their functions. So for your homework, I would like you to draw a worksheet of respiratory system and name the parts, and then you write their function. And when you come back to school, please bring your worksheet to school. And we will continue with this topic, and this time around we are going to talk about the diseases of our respiratory system and how to prevent them. I am really glad that you're here, and I hope to see you again next time. So take good care of yourself and goodbye.